force. After the Second World War, he adopted Yin and Yang as part of his family code and added to it the Latin motto, contraria sunt complementa. In other words, contraries complement one another. Again, unlikely examples, but there it is. Now, when you speak of harmony, this is a concept that in this part of the country you don't really focus on much. For example, harmony with others. You get a grade in elementary school, works and plays well with others, but for the most part, after that, no one pays attention to it. In the Far East, getting along with others, harmony, so that there's no friction, is the most important of all values. Now, the Japanese actually use the character for harmony to describe their own nation. If you have a Japanese-English dictionary, the word for Japanese is really the word harmony, wa. It is an extremely important concept in Japan. Now, this is what the character of wa looks like. This is it. Now, usually when Westerners see any kind of calligraphy, the first thing they want to know is, what does it mean? Don't waste time with that. Try to appreciate the power and beauty of the strokes, to be able to do that. Now, this requires years of practice. And one of the reasons why I won't write Chinese in public is I have not put in those years. Now, this is made up, as far as anyone can tell, of this side, the mouth, the human mouth, and this is perhaps the rice plant, two combined. Now, the mouth, of course, produces air, words, and rice is necessary for life. Again, the harmony of yin and yang. It pervades everything. Now, in the 6th century, or more accurately about 600 AD, the Japanese Constitution, the first one of Shotoku Kaiichi, had an article, Article 17, saying harmony is the most important thing. Without it, nothing works, nothing gets done. If there is discord, then nothing can truly be accomplished. Now, to get to the last idea, how, the way, no one can be sure exactly what that is. I don't, to go back to the idea, the how is, the first part of it is the left foot, the foot that is on earth. And the second part is the head. And again, the head is closer to heaven, the yang from heaven, the foot touching the earth, the yin and yang. The harmony of yin and yang is the how. That is, following a path where there is balance between these two conflicting forces. The one thing I would suggest, do not equate yin and yang with good and evil. That's a mistake. You may remember a film, for example, from year 2000, from China, Crouching Tiger. Hidden Dragon? To understand the title, you have to understand that the dragon is always associated with Yang and the tiger with Yin. The whole film is about the interplay of those forces. So again, this is roughly what I have to say. I don't want to spend too much time going over this, but this is something that once you begin to see the world this way, to see it as forces that are opposite but complementary, then you realize that this is the nature of things. If you look at almost everything in the world, it's a question of opposites either colliding with one another or cooperating with one another. In other words, yin and yang, the ultimate diplomacy. Thank you.
We have time for questions. And a quick one on a scroll like that, which has clearly one dominant character. What's all the other stuff?
Well, the basis of Chinese aesthetics is the written word. So almost always there's a written word. Now, there's one last scroll I will show you to show you the essence of yin and yang as opposed to what you've seen so far. For the Chinese, the essence of yin and yang is best seen in a landscape painting. In fact, in Chinese, the word for a landscape painting is shan, mountain, and sui, water. Water and mountain. Now, this is Chinese, not Japanese. It's a bit larger than some of the others. And it's extremely Chinese. You can recognize it at once as being Chinese. Now, you'll notice that the mountains, the yin, is what is pushing upward. And then the water is always at the bottom. As the Tao Te Ching puts it, water always chooses the lowest place. This is the ultimate expression of what yin and yang is. And you probably can't see, but there are very tiny human figures. Now, the subtlety of that simply being, can human beings hope to encompass all of nature? Can they hope to dominate it, which is the Western idea? Or can they only hope to live in harmony with it? How can you overcome something so much vaster than you are? And in a very real sense, this is what modern ecology is all about. Now, one last thing. The yin and yang symbol. The Chinese characters for that are normally translated as the dark side of the mountain and the light side of the mountain. If you look at the Chinese symbol for yin and yang, and you think that you're looking down at it, not directly towards it, then the dark part is the dark side of the mountain. The light side of the mountain, and the mountain is the axis or the ridge pole of the world.
Does this notion of harmony versus truth carry over to political practice and political ethics?
Oh yes, oh yes. If you were to go back into recent Chinese history, there is the figure of Mao Zedong. He was yang. And then there is the figure of Zhou Enlai. He was yin. And did not understand the interplay of the two.